Hey, what's going on guys? My name is TheBrokenMachine. Today we're talking about what to do when you're playing bad and how we may overcome it. This was asked in one of my recent streams, so I thought it would make a good video. This follows on from my video on consistency and involves similar topics, so be sure to check that out too. I am giving my own tips here, but I'm more looking forward to what advice you guys have. So leave a comment for the community on what you think helps, or on social media if you prefer. But first, before we delve into that, I've got a quick little sneak at my upcoming montage, One Man Army 2, that I know many of you have been waiting a long time for. Well, I hope you guys are looking forward to that. I think you'll enjoy it. But back to this video's topic. My number one tip for when you're playing bad is to simply stop playing. Taking a break is sometimes one of the best things we can do. It doesn't have to be days or hours, it can just be a 5-minute break. A quick refresh is often all we need. I think it is very easy to get caught up in what we're doing, and maybe we're focusing on the wrong things, so take a break. Let your mind drift away from the game for a little while and come back. Second tip is to relax. Personally, I know if I get mad, irritated, frustrated, it can often have a negative effect on my gameplay. On my live stream, you'll see me often get frustrated with the team, but instead of letting it affect my gameplay, I explain to the viewers what my team mistakes are, why they are considered mistakes, and what we need to do. So there's a learning process going on here too. And if you're not already, that is one thing that you need to be doing as well. So learn from the frustrating events in the game, but relax and don't let them bother you. Simply just don't give a crap, whether it's a score, your streaks or anything. Just relax and play the game as it comes. And that relates to my third tip. Lower your expectations. Your skill on the day can vary just as much as the skill level of your opponents. Stop expecting to be able to do the same things you did yesterday. The map you played before is not the same as the map you're playing right now. On the surface it may appear to be, but new and different players are present, tactics and strategy may be similar but ultimately different. Be prepared for that. Just because you flanked yesterday several times doesn't mean you can do it again today. Maybe the players here are more aware of that kind of strategy that can be used and will be ready for it. So again, lower your expectations and you'll be more in touch with the reality of what's going on. Anticipating and predicting what our opponents can and may do is a good sign of a decent player, but are they in sync with the actual events in the game needs to be a question you're constantly seeking answers for. Fourth tip, recognize why you're playing bad and find solutions. What bad means is subjective, of course. A negative KD in one game may appear bad, but it could purely be the result of pushing objectives and having no backup. Maybe your opponents are more skilled than they were yesterday, so you need to find out what makes them so good and work out ways to get an edge on them. For example, they're constantly peeking the heads from behind cover or waiting on corners for you to pop around. Easy, they're defensive players, they have some good knowledge, so play them at their own game. Don't rush blind around corners, peek them, fall back, change position, wait for them to make a mistake, that kind of thing. Sometimes it is the enemy's skill that is the reason we're not playing too well. Focus on this and work on finding solutions. It doesn't matter how good you are, eventually you'll come across players who are better than you. Maybe not overall, but in certain aspects. Often a player's positioning is usually the biggest factor in why they succeed. Now for tip number 5, reset yourself in some kind of way. If you play the game without music, perhaps play a few rounds with music blaring out. Put on tracks that you don't normally listen to, maybe a catchy Korean pop group instead of your usual Metallica track. Listen to a TED talk on a topic that you have no idea about. Why? It doesn't matter why. Do anything that breaks that focus you have on the game, and it may just end up resetting you in some kind of way. You know when you're trying to figure out something, you get stuck, and then you have one of those, oh my god, I'm so thick kind of moments. That is what you're trying to achieve here. It's not the type of content that matters, anything will do, just something to break the cycle that you might be stuck in. It happens to everyone. When you distract yourself from the game, it's like your mind goes back to its raw instincts, your actual raw skill at the game, and ignores anything that's irrelevant. This raw platform is the best place for you to build and grow your knowledge of the game from. Will it work for you? Well, what have you got to lose? It's surely worth trying. Last tip from me, just ride it out and don't get hung up on it. Often we can be so close to the next level, whether that's a small step or climbing over a cliff, and we tend to give up. You know, sometimes it's just good to keep on going, no matter how bad it is or how hard it is or how frustrated you are. Just keep on going and we might just be at that next step. It might just be round the corner. Maybe even try something new like using a vehicle like I'm doing here. 29 kill streak for this game, not bad, good for relaxing the mind, the vehicles are. And those are my tips. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it and a dislike if you didn't. My name is TheBrokenMachine, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, take it easy, see you later.